and welcome back to another episode of the What Was That podcast. I'm Jazzy.
And I'm Addi. Wait a second. Do you hear that?
The sweet sound of our voices on episode 33 of our podcast.
No, so much better. Your girl is engaged!
Love that. Love you. Love that our stories for this episode are going to be centered around the theme of love and marriage. Just to celebrate you and baby Q.
That's so sweet. But this wouldn't be an episode of What Was That without a little twist.
Without twist.
Without twist.
Just a little piece of orange. Twist it up, twist it up.
Oh, I was pointing at my ring.
Oh, yeah. She's engaged. Yeah. I'm not a good rapper. I got nothing for you.
I'm not either.
I'll think of something later, and then I'll just... This is future Jasmine stepping onto the mic. What?
This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. That's what
she looks so sad in photographs.
But I absolutely love her
when she smiles.
Okay.
Story 1. Crotch goblins at a wedding? No, thank you. I once worked at a wedding and couldn't help but notice how terrible the kids were. Now, usually the kids I'd seen at weddings have iPads, etc. to play during the ceremony with headphones, and then during the reception they aren't an issue. But for this wedding, these 3 kids, only 3 were there, were monsters. I felt so bad for the bride. Just to summarize the minor issues, the kids, 1, kept interrupting the ceremony by yelling and running up and down the aisle, 2, stripped down to practically naked and run around, and 3, throw the aisle decor off the pews, it was a church.
What did he say?
And basically destroy it. The parents weren't doing anything to stop them, just kept ignoring the kids while they practically hung off of them. During the reception, it was even worse. They ran out onto the floor during the dances for the couple and the couple's parents. They threw food around, they screamed, and one of them threw a plate that hit another guest. Finally, the bride asked the parents if they could do something, which the mother replied, "It's not my problem your wedding isn't kid-friendly. Huh? You should have gotten a kid's station or at least give them toys." A couple people at the other table sighed. The bride left, but just before turning to see her hubby go cut the cake, one of the kids ran up to her and rubbed their hands on the fluff of the dress, with chocolate all over his hands.
Oh my God!
I guess at some point the kid had found the chocolate fountain in the kitchen, which the catering company had brought in for fondue. Thankfully, I got pictures of that before it was destroyed. He was covered in chocolate, and now the bride's dress was too. You could tell she was about to cry. And this isn't the worst part either. Thankfully, her mom helped her change into her honeymoon dress, a knee-length white dress. The couple then goes to cut the beautiful 5-tier tall cake. Guess what the little monsters did? Right after the couple cut the cake, the chocolate-covered kid, now in pajamas, ran up to the bride and asked for a slice. When she said they were going to hand it out in a couple seconds and that he should wait, he screamed. Big, ugly tears falling from his eyes. I'm a monster, so I took a picture of his meltdown. He then had a full-on tantrum, kicking the table with cake on it. I guess it wasn't a strong table because the thing fell over and the cake landed all over the bride, the groom, the mother of the bride, and the kid. The crazy mom came out of the crowd and yelled at the couple they hurt her child, and then some fierce words were exchanged. After a good 5-minute screaming match, the bride yelled at everyone to get out and then walked off in tears. I left shortly after to get to editing the shots I took. After about a week later, the bride called and asked if I had gotten any nice shots. I told her all the pictures we took during cocktail hour were safe. A couple during the reception were good. I edited the kids out if they got in the shot. And the ceremony was okay. I got pics of the cake, the fondue fountain with all the goodies, the food, and etc. I took the pics out where the kids ruined it, but I let her know I took a pic right as his meltdown started. She wanted that pic so badly, so I sent it to her right away. Out of my curiosity, I asked what happened with the monster kid and the mom. She laughed and said they were taking them to small claims court to get the money back she spent on the dress cleaning fee, the cake, and the now destroyed fondue fountain, and a couple of other things. All in all, the kids cost almost $4,000 worth of damage, which the bride and groom had to cover. On top of that, since only parts of the dress could be cleaned, an almost $700 cleaning fee, she had to get fabric cut out of the damaged parts and fix it. almost another grand. Furthermore, she had to postpone her honeymoon, causing a further $2,000 to the couple so they could deal with everything. Long story short, I gave the bride 50% off the package because it was supposed to have a total of 300 edited shots, and I could only salvage about 100, 120. The bride and I, who is becoming a good friend of mine, were going to drinks when she comes back from her spa honeymoon, not her original honeymoon. My question for you ladies is, would you ever allow kids at your wedding? Because I don't think I will after this. TLDR, crazy kids ruined wedding, causing $4,000 plus in damages.
Okay. As you know, I am not allowing kids at my wedding.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
0 children will be allowed at my wedding because I've seen too many horror stories of children just ruining the whole fucking vibe of the wedding and destroying things. Now I get it. Obviously, being a parent is hard. Mm-hmm. Finding a babysitter is hard. Finding the time to go out and possibly rent a hotel room and all of that stuff is hard.
Yeah.
However, as a parent, do you not want to go to an event without your kids?
Yeah.
Where there is alcohol flowing, dancing, everything's about love. Mm-hmm. Do you really want your little Timmy running around?
Yeah.
Screaming, Mom, please come play with me. Mom, can you get them to play What Does the Fox Say? Oh my God. Mom, tell them to play Let It Go. Mom, I'm not having fun. Mom.
Absolutely not. See, okay, and like, if you couldn't get a babysitter and you had to get a hotel, or even if you could just drive home at the end of the night, what should have happened if there were 2 parents? One needs to stay home. Either the whole thing, or you go for a little bit and then come home early.
Yeah.
If you have no one else to watch your kids and there's 2 of you. If there's only one of you, I'm sorry, if your kids aren't well behaved.
Don't take them and just don't go to the wedding.
Yeah.
Sorry, I would rather not have somebody, and maybe this is a hot take, I'd rather not have somebody at my wedding than have a child at my wedding. Just personally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a single person that I can think of.
And, like, there's no way you don't know that your kid's a little shit. Like, you have to live with it every day. You know when your kid is a shit.
I want to know who this mom was in relation to the bride and groom. Because if that were me, putting myself in those shoes.
Yeah.
I don't care who that is. That could be my own fucking mom.
Yeah.
I'm walking up to her and I'm saying, hey, get the fuck out.
Leave.
At the first sign of damage, those kids start knocking stuff off of those pews. I'd be like, hey, can you get your fucking little shit? Grab them, snatch them up, do something.
Yeah.
Put them in a corner.
Leave.
Tie them up, put a bow, put them in the corner. Whatever you have to do. This is your one warning. Mm-hmm. The next thing that they do, they're gone. You just, I'm sorry,
Right,
I'm
like
the
you
bride.
have to go. Like
I'm the bride, you have to go.
You're actually breaking things, leave. Because if anyone else was breaking things, leave.
Yeah. There's not a single person in ever. I mean, and I get that children...
Like if an adult went over and flipped the cake over, leave.
Leave. The chocolate on the dress made me actually sick to my stomach.
It made me, like, violent.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad.
Would you condone hitting a child?
Just a little punt.
See, that's what I was thinking. Sorry, guys. That's what I was thinking, too.
We don't
I'm
condone child abuse.
just kind of like, poof, like,
just a little
get 'em
hip
off
check.
you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, decking them, but you're shaking off a dog that jumped on your leg. That was so aggressive. I'm so sorry. But I can't even to wrap my head around this mom being totally and trying to flip it and say you didn't have any kid stuff there.
Yeah. First off, you should have brought kid stuff because they're your fucking kids. Second off, go home, you crazy person. Your kids are shits and so are you. That's probably where they get it from.
It's a wedding, not a daycare.
No.
Like, the bride is not there to provide kids' toys and events for kids. Was she gonna hire a fucking bubble blower?
Yeah.
And a clown and a bounce house? No.
And I say this very much as someone who does not have kids. Not all spaces are created for kids. So if you are going to bring them, it's on you to make sure your kid behaves. And if you're not willing to do that, okay, don't take your kid there.
My stomach growled.
Ooh.
It was like...
Yeah, it was like damn straight.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, no, I agree. If you know... Never mind. This is a hot topic. We could go on, and
Okay,
I feel like we get a lot of hate. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have an update.
Yay!
So a couple people asked me to keep this page updated on what's going on. If you want to see the first post, yada, yada, yada. I met with the bride a couple days ago for lunch, and she gave me an update. So far, she's filed documents with Small Claims Court, and she's being countersued. Basically, she told me they're suing for the medical care and cost the son has because of the cake falling on him. She's even been getting nasty calls and emails from them. I'm trying to convince her to let me get screenshots for you to read them. I don't know if we have those. I'll look. Her entire family has now left the entitled mom and husband in the dust. The entitled mom's husband has been reaching out to the bride's husband to get him to convince her to drop the case. He's been taking his wife's side, refusing and saying that if he stepped in and controlled his monstrous kids and his wife, there wouldn't be an issue. The entitled mom has been posting all over Facebook saying how terrible the bride is and spinning the story to favor her. I'm not sure when they will go to court, but I'll give you an update if wanted. You crazy
Bitch! Yeah! God, oh my, that would make me...
That makes me so mad.
I'm like, I would... Okay, bleep that because...
Sure as shit, if that happened to this entitled woman at her wedding, you would never hear the end of it.
No, the whole building would be on fire because she got so hot that her head combusted and it blew the building up. No, this is insane behavior. Mm-hmm. To countersue?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
For the damages... Do you sue the playground when your kid falls on it because they were doing some shit? Because that's how the cake fell on him, because he was doing some shit he should have been doing.
I can't even...
Yeah. Say sorry and pay for the dress cleaning, and honestly the cake damages. Pay for the damages that your kid caused. And say sorry. And then never talk to anyone again.
I'm so petty that I would spend all of my money, every dime that I had, to get the best lawyer possible, and then I would start stacking on charges, emotional distress, trauma.
Yeah.
Like you're getting sued on top of the civil claims court, and I'm taking little Timmy and little Joey now because you can't afford to live, and I'm gonna reparent them to be better children because obviously you can't parent them and control them in the way
next time you see them, they'll be like, "Oh, hello, mother."
Pip pip. It's like the nanny. Wait, not the nanny.
Nanny McPhee?
Super nanny?
Oh, super nanny.
Yeah.
Yep.
That bad bitch. She strolls in there and she's like, "We're not doing this today, guys." And then she has those kids acting straight after like 2 months. It's probably a lot of trauma, but...
You know what else is a lot of trauma? Having chocolate rubbed all over your wedding dress. So... And then the cake spilled on you. I love cake. When I am to wed, I want a really, really tasty cake. And if I had that entire wedding, I know I'm sitting there looking forward to the cake. At least I have this, my favorite dessert, and then it gets spilled on me by the same shit that ruined everything else. Punted.
Yeah. They'd be paying for the entire wedding.
Yeah.
There would not be wedding, honeymoon, and cost after that because I'm coming for everything you own.
Yeah.
That is... My heartbeat's pretty.
Oh my God,
pretty beaten. Know. I'm like not even funny right now because of how mad that made me.
This was a while ago, so maybe there is another update. Yeah, nothing that's like. Here's what happened in the case.
Yeah.
Dang.
I hope she won.
I hope so too. I feel like if they're not a fucking idiot, yeah, she would have won.
Yeah. I just, especially when it comes to kids stuff, I feel like you never know because the judge could be really sympathetic towards kids
Yeah, they could be like, oh, she's just having a hard time. It's like, well, stay home. I'm sorry.
Never
Like,
leave
stay
the
home.
house. Keep your kid at home.
Like, if your kid is
Hermit
that
them.
much of a menace,
Yeah.
you gotta figure something out.
See, this is where it gets really hard because it's like, if we're telling parents, if your kid is bad, don't take them out. But then that kid gets kind of hostile because they're inside, and then they become incels.
Well, they can still, like, go to school. They can still have a soccer team. They can go to, like,
I think it's when they're really
friendly
small,
things.
maybe.
There's like kids museums. There's a ton of places for a kid to. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, my stomach's like growling and it like hurts. I'm like, stop,
Chill.
stop that. Daddy,
Tummy chill. No, there's like so many places you can go that are like kid friendly, and kids can go and act like crazy little kids, and it's okay. But a wedding is not one of those things. So
No.
you should know
Absolutely
your
not.
kid, and if your kid can't handle that, don't set them up to fail.
Yeah, I just can't understand parents that feel like their kid is entitled to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Just like I brought up a few episodes ago about my old job that I had and the kids going in and doing whatever they want to all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, my parents would have beat my ass.
1,000%.
My parents would have beat my ass.
1,000%. I didn't even have the thought to do that.
No.
Because I know what would have happened.
Not ever condoning violence on a child. Gentle parenting works, and like rationalizing with a child works because they're people.
Yeah.
They're people too. They have feelings. They have thoughts. Maybe they don't have the grandest expansive thoughts, but they still understand basic concepts.
Yeah.
So you don't need to beat your kid. But I'm just saying. My parents would have beat me.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. I wouldn't have an ass anymore. Like.
No, my both of my parents would have yoinked me out of there the second I touched something that I wasn't supposed to.
Yep.
Like, hand smack, don't fucking touch that.
Yep.
Okay. And that's all I would have needed.
Yeah.
I would have sat my ass in the back of the room the whole rest of the time. I don't care if I'm bored. I'm disassociating, staring at a wall.
Yep. The shame of getting in trouble will get me. I heard your tummy that time.
You're loud. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Why am I so hungry?
Let's go to story 2.
Story 2. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be the maid of honor at my best friend's wedding because she's pregnant and marrying my ex? Of course, it's a lot more complicated than that title.
Huh?
So, 2 major parts of my life converged recently, and I'm just devastated and question pretty much all of my actions. Hence why I'm posting here, because I may be acting awful to 2 people I love dearly. Oh, girl, I don't think you are, but... So, part 1 is Tammy, my best friend since elementary school. She is literally my sister. We have done pretty much everything together, same college, same dorm, roommates, confidants, sloppy drunk mates, you name it. I love her so much. Apparently, the same boyfriends too. Mm-hmm. Part 2 is Gregory, my college boyfriend. What kind of name is Gregory? Sorry. I'm being so mean right now.
Well, because we already know we hate them.
I know, and I'm already so mad from the last story, so I feel like I'm just, okay, I need to like...
Fired up.
Part 2 is Gregory. Fuck.
Yeah.
My college boyfriend. I love him as well, but we could never make things work. Had one of those hot mess relationships which are a combination of torture and bliss. We had dated off and on since freshman orientation. All of us are 27 now, but usually end up in flames. I always loved him so much that I hope we'd mature and be able to make things work. He moved to a different city after college, but we'd stay in touch, send flirty texts, and even went on vacation twice. We got along great as long as we both had our own places to retreat to, if that makes sense. All along, we both had dating lives, and to be fair, I never told him about my long-term idea that we'd be together. A year ago, Tammy moved to a city about 30 minutes away from Gregory. She was having a really hard time meeting people, so I told her since I knew Gregory so well, she could call him and see if he can introduce her to his group of friends. She did, and I knew she was much happier. About 3 months after the flirty text from Gregory just stopped out of the blue, which isn't that big of a deal because it's happened before, but looking back, I should have known what was coming. Tammy just came home for the weekend and said she was making a special trip just to see me. Of course, I was super excited to see her. She came over and she seemed a little off. First, she told me she was pregnant. After we got past the shock and established she was happy, that she was pregnant. After we got past the shock and established she was happy and keeping the baby, I was elated to be an aunt. Then she said that there was more and it's really hard. I about died when she said the baby is Gregory's. She apologized and said she was so sorry. They just hit it off and they didn't mean to do anything to hurt me, and they even tried breaking up for my sake, but then they realized there was too much of an attraction and they started dating. She hadn't planned on getting pregnant, but now that she is, they're getting married. She said she'd hope this didn't hurt, and she always dreamed about me being her maid of honor, and there's no one else she'd ever ask. I tried to keep my cool, but I lost it. I wasn't mad at her, just really, really sad. I told her that I loved her, and I just couldn't be around her right now, and no way I could even go to their wedding, let alone be in the wedding party. She said she was sorry about 1,000,000 times as she was leaving, and she texted me quite a bit wanting to see me before she left town on Sunday. I just couldn't do it. I literally cried all weekend. Here's the thing. If I were never in the picture, they make a perfect couple. Perfect. Tammy's brand of fiery is a much better match to Gregory's calm nature than mine. They're both gorgeous and smart and great with kids. If two people should be hooking up to be great partners and parents, it's those two. I just can't help being hurt. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be her maid of honor? Okay, I have kind of mixed feelings on this.
Yeah.
My first feeling, because I was very mean initially. Do I think the best friend should have done that?
No.
No. If you're my ride or die, you better die before you get on my ride. Holy shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, never in a million years would I ever think of, like, touching my best friend's man.
No.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way if they've been together 10 years, 20 years. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not touching Steven with a 20-foot pole. Love you. But
It's not
ain't happening. It ain't happening. That ain't never, no.
Never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it. However, I think that she does make a good point with saying if there were ever two people and he and I were never together, they would be perfect for each other.
Yeah. That adds a very thick layer
So
to my emotions.
Exactly, because it's like, she is right. I mean, I don't know them. But she's right, saying if she was out of the picture, like, they'd be a great couple. And so the only difference is the fact that she was there first, and she, like, they just didn't work out.
Yeah. That being said, I think that all can be true, but the way they handled it was absolutely wrong, and that's what makes them, like, such assholes. Because at some point,
pregnant?
Like, did you get pregnant the first hookup?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it because you talked about breaking up. So, like, the first inkling of something happening, you should have talked to your friend and been like, hey, like, is this a chapter that's closed for you?
Yeah, exactly. Because then the best friend could have been, the other best friend, OP, could have been like, no, we're still actively talking. Like, we're still going back. We're still doing the on and off thing.
Yeah.
And then best friend could have been like, okay, well, I guess I'll back off. But yeah, she could have fucking said something.
Yeah, said something like before they got pregnant and are getting married, because they also had to find out that you're pregnant and then be like, okay, so let's talk about a wedding.
Both. Double whammy.
There's so many things happening in this person's life that they didn't tell their best friend because they knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
And imagine, must be so sad on both ends. Like, not being able to talk to your best friend about something. Yeah. Especially two massive parts of your life.
I think this really boils down to a Shauna Shipman scenario. OP is Jackie. If they, like, didn't go crash in the woods somewhere.
Jackie was still, like, very much dating the guy, though. Yeah. She was, like, not super into it. But she was still... But
there's, like, parts being like, oh, yeah, like this. They said that they're on again, off again.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I can see that. And then it is like a...
She's like, yeah, I figured, you know, we're on again, off again, whatever. One day we'll just be on again, and then we'll stay that way.
Yeah.
So, and then you found out your best friend's pregnant by him. But difference is you're not...
Oh, I forgot that she is pregnant, too. So it is very much...
She's pregnant by specifically Jackie's boyfriend.
Yeah, but they didn't crash in a plane.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. Oh,
They all went to college.
Yeah, there's
Jackie
like...
became a popsicle.
Best friend is definitely an asshole for going near OP's man and then not talking about it.
Because, like, if you fully believe, like, if they fully believe they're soulmates, they should have still talked. This would be a hard but much easier conversation if they were still just dating each other. Yeah. As opposed to, okay, you have to be fine with this because we're getting
pregnant.
married and we're pregnant.
Yeah. No, if best friend was like, hey, I've been spending a lot of time with Gregory. And what was best friend's name? It was just known as best friend.
I don't know. In my
Tammy.
head, she's like Jackie.
So
now. Yeah.
if Tammy went to OP and was like, hey, I've been hanging out with Gregory a lot lately, I think this might be a thing where we mesh really, really well. Give OP time to process that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. At the end of the day, they're two different people. Yeah. They're living two different lives. They may be best friends, but everyone's relationships end in one way or another. Yeah. At some point in life, whether it be death, a breakup, like just things ending, people go their separate ways. This could have been a really good moment for them to come together and evaluate their friendship as it stood just as their friendship. Yeah. Like, hey, I have these feelings. OP would have been given autonomy to, like, make that decision of, I'm okay with this, or I'm not okay with this and I don't want to be in y'all's lives anymore. Yeah. And that would have given OP time to, like, process and take stock of her relationship with Gregory and with Tammy and maybe come to the realization herself. Yeah. Hey, these two people are really, really good together. Does it suck that they might get together? Yeah. But she doesn't get that choice anymore. Yeah. I mean, she does in a way, but it's a lot harder at this point because you're adding in marriage. And she was like, I'm so excited to be an aunt. Yeah. And now she might not even get to be an aunt to her best friend, practically sister's child. Yeah. Because she had no idea, like, what was going on.
And, like, she came to that... It sounds like she's coming to the conclusion on her own that they are a good couple together. Yeah. So I imagine if that conversation happened earlier, pre-marriage, pre-baby, she honestly still might have come to that conclusion. And it would have been a lot easier of a transition of, like, okay, you know what? I had some time to think about it, and you guys are actually really great together. It makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, we do have an update. Before we say if she's an asshole or not. Okay. Edit. This blew up like crazy. I had no idea. Thank you. I think pretty much everyone so far thinks at least my initial reaction is okay. The thing that people seem most confused by is the timeline, and honestly, I was wrong in my original post. Tammy and I only talked for maybe 10 minutes on Friday evening, so there's a lot I don't know, but I went through my texts and such, and this is the best I can put together. June 2017. Gregory took me to Hawaii. That is the last time I saw him. We maybe texted 2 or 3 times a week. May 2018. Tammy gets her job and moves to a new city. We text or call easily a combined 100 times a day or more. Late July 2018, Tammy confesses that she's really lonely and all her coworkers are older and she's seriously thinking about quitting and moving back. I tell her she should call Greg. She doesn't have his number, so I give it to her. I still keep getting flirty, but nothing overt from Gregory in this time period. August 2018. I start a project at my job, setting up for a December event and for an A-B list celebrity. It's literally make or break for my company and my career. I work 16 hours a day and basically go off the grid. Greg still texts occasionally, but I keep missing Tammy's calls. September 2018, last text from Greg. Like I said, no big deal. I didn't even see this until today, but Tammy texted me and said, please call me ASAP, we really need to talk about something. This adds a whole new element to the story, but I can't believe I forgot or missed this text. I responded to another text of hers later in the day, kind of bitchy. Hey, you know I'm busy, give me some time to breathe. Oh. I mean, now I'm like...
The plot thickens.
Another piece I forgot until I dug in my text. She may have taken this as a message I wasn't ready. I assume this is when they first hooked up. September to December, we still miss each other, and honestly, I don't think I talked to her, and looking back, she texted me about 5 times to every one of my responses, if I read it right. She initiated all conversations. I wasn't a very good friend. My event goes off pretty well, and then I immediately leave for an overseas vacation with my family. January, we still didn't talk at all, but I didn't think much of it. Friday the 1st, she drops the news in person that she's been pregnant for about 2 weeks and getting married in April. So that's the timeline. Not sure if it clears anything up, but Tammy may have reached out to me at least once.
At least once?
Okay.
Okay, so going back to everything we already said when we were shitting on Tammy, it sounds like she probably might have tried to have those conversations a few times.
Yeah, that's especially when she reached out and was like, hey, I really need to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And it really does sound like OP kind of was like, no, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Which, again, okay, this is moving into like a everyone sucks here kind of situation for me. I'm like, OP kind of sucks, best friend kind of sucks. What are you going to do about it? For her original question, is she an asshole for saying that she doesn't want to be the maid of honor? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. You're not the asshole for that. You are entitled to do whatever you want to do with your free time, and if you're uncomfortable being the maid of honor, that's your prerogative. Yeah. And your best friend has to understand that. Mm-hmm. But the other stuff kind of makes you an asshole.
Yeah, you were an asshole friend. I'm not saying you deserve the situation, but you were an asshole friend. Like, two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, and like there was about
a year and some change gap between them seeing each other.
Yeah, and between them seeing each other and then even Tammy coming into the picture. Like there was over a year at that point.
Yeah.
Before they kind of got together. I don't know. Everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks here.
Yeah, you're all assholes in different ways.
Yeah, it's just a shitty situation, honestly. And again, I like going into if she wasn't there, they would be perfect for each other. But she was, so there should have been a lot of other steps that we're taking in the interim.
Yeah, condoms would have been a helpful one too.
Yeah. That took me a second to process. I was like, huh? Yes, condoms would have been really fucking good. I also think that Tammy could have been maybe like a little bit more persistent in being like, hey, this is crucial. Yeah. We have to talk about this. And I also don't think that Tammy should have moved forward with anything without
I agree with you
talking to OP.
Because there's not a compelling reason why they had to move at the speed that they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than, I guess, their insane connection. But, like, you also had an insane connection with your best friend, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Getting pregnant and then getting married 4 months later is wild.
This is Jazzy. She got up to check the camera, she paused it, but forgot to start recording. Story 3 is audio only. Say it with me, Bad Jazzy.
Okay, so for story 3, I have 2 stories because I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to put in. Story 4 is a creep story.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. So we can either do like it's called a haunted dress experience or delusional wedding planner.
Oh, that's hard.
One is longer than the other two. Delusional wedding planner is shorter.
Okay, I think I want haunted dress experience.
Okay. Divine choice.
She's like, get out of there. Get the fuck out of there.
Ew. You should read that one later, though, because it's weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, we could just read it and do a 5th story.
Yeah, story 5. Okay, haunted dress experience. I, female 14, was raised by 2...
14?
19. Oh, yeah. F for 14. Okay. I, female 19, was raised by 2 atheists, so I never had any religious understandings of death or reincarnation or communication from those who have passed. This regrettably meant most of the things I learned about ghosts growing up was through ghost stories meant to scare friends and scary movies. I took a large interest in psychology, so I always find ways to work around or logically explain unusual experiences I had as a kid. Only recently had I started to reflect on my experiences through a different eye due to an experience I had last month that changed my perspective on things. I used to live in Singapore, and I mention this only because Singapore is a small island that recently developed over the past 50 years and still has a lot of history tied to the residences now. Many people claim areas of Singapore are haunted. In Singapore, I was raised in a shop house which is specifically tied to Singaporean history. There's a lot of unusual experiences I had in that house, but I won't go into detail about them because there's too many and I want to focus on the big ones. To summarize, though, the 2 places that I believe were haunted in that house were the master bedroom and the top floor. Now to the main focus and what I have the most questions about. If anyone has theories or similar experiences, I would really appreciate learning about them, as they would give me a greater understanding for what I went through. My mom used to collect antiques or vintage items, and there was one in particular, a traditional Chinese wedding dress, that she kept in her room next to her bed on a coat hanger. Ever since that was moved into her room, I felt uncomfortable as a kid being alone in there, and I always had this underlying dread that I didn't understand at the time. Over the course of a couple years, whenever I had nightmares and would go to sleep in her room, I woke up in the middle of the night and turned to look at the dress as if it was instinct or though it had woke me up. I had one particularly vivid memory of sleeping in her room one night and then having a nightmare of someone chasing me. As soon as this woman caught up to me in my dream, I woke up to see the lady next to my bedside. She looked like a young adult dressed in a traditional Chinese garment, which at the time I wouldn't have been able to imagine because I had no prior knowledge of what Chinese garments look like except for the wedding dress, but this was different. The woman had told me to go back to sleep and finish my dream, but I told her, I don't know. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Nah. I don't know.
Maybe. She insisted I go back to sleep and try, so I said I would. I asked her who she was, and she told me to sleep, so I turned away from her and knocked my knuckle on my forehead to see if this was real. I felt it. I will never forget the sensation. When I turned back, she was gone. My mother later told me the paintings next to the dress moved every morning, so she had to adjust them each time. A few years later, my mom hired a medium to cleanse the house after issues relating to work, but this medium turned her attention to the dark energy she felt was present in the house. Without my mother mentioning anything about the dress, this woman led her straight to it and said this is where the energy is coming from. She told my mom the dress belonged to a woman who had passed away just before her wedding and is unhappy with where the dress was, so she attached herself to it. To summarize, she said my mom had to get rid of it and return it to the place where the woman would be happy. My mom agreed, and since the dress was gone and the house was cleansed, I had no further paranormal experiences in that house. So this is where my questions come in. I feel as though ghosts or energies in the house targeted me directly. Everyone who stayed in the house overnight was always eager to leave the next day or tell me about sensations they would feel at night. One example is that a friend of mine felt something breathing at the back of her neck. Many of my childhood friends and neighbors specifically refused to go to the top floor. Despite this, though, I feel as though the most intense and physical interaction happened when I was home alone or when everyone else was asleep. Does anyone know why that may have been? Was there something in particular about me that welcomed that?
Well, you lived there, and you were a kid. So
Kids
those
are
two,
like way more susceptible to everything like that, you know?
And there obviously was a lot of activity when other people were there because people were constantly having problems. So I feel like that,
Yeah, ghosts and demons usually target vulnerable people like children of the family, the weak, and the elderly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were just
par for the
pretty
course,
textbook
man.
what they go for. Have you seen a horror movie? They always go for the kids.
Yeah.
And then it escalates.
You lived there. So yeah, you get more experience with the ghosts than your uncle who comes over once every month.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't like the upstairs.
Yeah. I feel something on my neck there. Is that you?
Yeah.
You know what I want? A haunted wedding dress.
Huh?
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. Say more words. Go for that.
Well, you see, if I get haunted wedding dress, then I can, like, have someone else take over in the nighttime and plan the wedding.
I don't think that's how that's going to work out. Because if I've seen anything from cinema, it's like always like the bride with the axe and the dress, and then so your wedding will turn into a murder fest instead of being planned. And maybe that would be the plan.
Well, what if I heroically save the day by giving this bride her dream wedding, and then she, boom, curse is lifted as the ceremony concludes, and I'm like, wow, where am I? And I look down and I'm wearing the haunted wedding dress and it's wedding day, but I haven't been active in my life for months at this point.
Or she's like, I like this husband. I like this life. Sorry, Addi. And then she like blinks at the camera and like looks back at like the wedding. And then you're like, wait a minute, that was weird. And so you're not sure if it's actual Addi or if it's like the ghost, and it's definitely the ghost.
Well, I wouldn't
And then
know.
credits. Yeah, because you're in the sunken place. You're just down there being like, let me out, Quentin, no, that's not me.
Oh, what if I become the dress and it's a cycle?
Yeah. There you go. Boom.
Wow. New movie that
Trademarked.
we wrote. Yep, that's ours. We're calling it Wedding
Copyright.
Hells.
Yeah. Don't take it.
No, but
I want
think...
Brittany Snow to be in the movie.
Who?
Brittany Snow.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Pitch Perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I know who she is. Gotcha. I do like the thought of having a vintage dress, though.
Vintage would be cool. Absolutely, 1,000%.
But how do you know it's not haunted?
Maybe get it cleansed a couple times.
Yeah, but...
Because, also, like, if that wedding didn't end well. Because there's, like, superstitions around wedding rings. Like, if you get a thrifted one and the marriage didn't end well,
yeah,
then that'll be, like, put on you. So
yeah.
does that also apply to dresses and decorations? Maybe not decorations.
Maybe not decorations, but dress I could see, which is unfortunate because all the dresses you can thrift are donated more than likely.
Well, it could also be donated because they're like, I don't need to keep this anymore.
Yeah.
It served its purpose.
That's true.
I see a lot on Facebook Marketplace that are like, I don't need to keep this in my closet. I have the photos.
Yeah,
I want someone else to enjoy it.
I'm gonna get a Nosh dress.
Yeah.
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 I can't wait to go wedding dress shopping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna have one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna be one of those fucking annoying ass brides because I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have an engagement party.
Yeah.
Need a dress for that.
As you should.
I'm gonna have a bridal shower. Dress for that.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a bachelorette trip.
Yep.
Dresses, plural.
Yep.
for however many days we're gone. And then I'm going to need a dress for the wedding. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end of the night, I think I want to have like a bye-bye dress.
Yeah.
I think. And then I'm going to have a honeymoon dress, which is the dress I want to wear to the airport.
Yeah.
After we leave for our honeymoon.
Yep. Honestly, I want all those same dresses. So I see nothing wrong with that. In fact, you probably need at least 3 more dresses on top of that.
Yeah.
Just
what
for
other parties?
Occasion.
Yeah. What other parties can we throw?
Did you say reception? Or not reception,
Rehearsal dinner. No, but I do need a rehearsal dinner dress, but we'll also have one of those. What other party can I throw?
You could do a meet and greet.
Explain.
I'm pretty sure Lee's brother Jackson, they're like throwing like it's like before the wedding. It's essentially an excuse to have a pool party at a really nice pool.
Oh.
But yeah, they're like, yeah, everyone can come and meet and mingle, and this pool is really sick, and the food looks really good. So, excuse to throw a party.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I do love an excuse to throw a party. I am about to go balls to the wall planning an engagement party, but I will need help.
Okay.
So
I'm already there.
Well, obviously he'll help too, but yes, I need a feminine touch to that.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so good. Ba-bing!
In case you forgot, after we've read all of these wedding stories, yeah,
baby.
Anyway,
yeah, haunted dress. You're a kid. It's going after you like
crazy.
It's being assholes.
What? Oh no.
When?
When?
What even happened?
Yeah, other than I guess their insane connection, but like you also have
Need
it's a shitty
like-
situation.
like a mirror. Yeah.
Yep.
That's okay. It's only one. It's only one
story.
Yeah. You'll have to like put a picture of my ring though whenever I'm like showing off. It's,
How dare we?
is it recording?
Yes, for real this time.
Okay.
The one time I don't check it after hitting record.
It's okay. It comes in at story 4. Sorry guys, our video cut out for that last story, but it's back now for all of you that gave up on watching and switched to listening because they thought the video ended. Joke's on you. We're back, baby.
Back and better than ever.
Story 4. Terrifying encounter at a wedding. I went to a wedding of my friend Courtney about 2 days ago, and I still can't shake my mind over what happened. For context, I grew up in a very religious household and went to church every Sunday, and Courtney is probably the only person from my old church that I still keep contact with. The situation started at the reception. Courtney was super excited to see me, and definitely the only person who felt that way, judging from all the stares from the people at my old church. I sat down at my table and started playing something on my phone when some guy sat next to me. He said that the seating chart said that he was supposed to sit at my table and introduced himself as the groom's friend, Anthony. He was pretty cute, so I spent a lot of time talking to him and we really hit it off. He didn't seem to judge me for being an atheist and seemed genuinely interested in me. When the dance started, they started playing Brown Eyed Girl and he offered to dance with me. We danced together for most of the night until he left to go to the bathroom, and a little later I did too. When I came out, I saw that my purse wasn't on the table, which was weird because I swore I left it there. I was tired and thought I had left it in my car, so I went into the parking lot and into my car to look for it and found it on the center console. I still thought it was weird because I really thought I had brought it inside, but at any point, it was pretty late in the night, so I didn't think much of it. I danced some more and noticed Anthony was gone. I asked the groom, and he said he had gone home because he wasn't feeling too good. Pretty soon I felt pretty sick too, so I said bye to Courtney and went to my car. As I put my keys in my ignition, I looked behind me and saw something weird. It looked like something had ducked down from my trunk. I took my keys out and looked back there, and that's when I saw him. Anthony was crouched down in the trunk of my car. I started screaming and ran out with him chasing after me. I went inside and told Courtney, who immediately told her husband, who walked me back to my car where Anthony was nowhere to be seen. Courtney's husband said that he didn't see his car, so he probably left. I left, and I still feel pretty sick to my stomach thinking about it. He could have easily gone home with me and killed me if I hadn't looked back. Courtney said that she feels terrible that she invited him, and that she had no idea he would do that. I haven't stepped out of my house since because I'm worried that if I do, he'll be waiting for me like he was before.
Oh my God!
Okay. What if, because I drive a General Gray sedan, and I've gone to the wrong car before. What if he was feeling queasy and her car wasn't locked and he like went to lay down in the back until he felt better? This is probably not what happened, but what if this would be best case scenario? Mm-hmm. And then he like wakes up to the car moving and is like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
That would be best case scenario.
That would be really nice if that were the case.
It's this scenario.
No, I think if he was just like laying in the back seat, kind of like snoozing, she probably wouldn't have. I mean, she probably would have freaked out.
I would have freaked out.
But it would have been more normal for a man to just be like, you know, and you get in, you turn around, and there's like in the back seat. And he could have stayed around and explained himself, but he didn't.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Shit, that was weird. I gotta go. Shit, that was weirder.
Yeah, and he ducked down when let's not forget that he ducked down when she got into the car. Mm-hmm. So he was in there and he was like, "Oh fuck."
Just a thud.
Yeah, if I saw the two, I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
you see a ghost, just a shadow, duck down, gone.
Just a car ghost.
You looked at that, there's nothing there, and you're like, how much have I drank tonight? My purse,
God.
the shadow, what's going on?
Call a lift. I'm not okay.
No, okay, putting myself in the bride's shoes on this one again. Imagine that.
I would pee myself.
Your friend comes running in after they're about to leave, and they're like, your friend was gonna murder me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. I told you we should have cut down the guest list.
I told you that he didn't need to come. You guys were friends for like 3 days, and you just really liked him because he did a lot of knife tricks. He didn't need to be here.
Didn't need to be here.
It's weird that she got sick right after he left. It is weird that she got sick,
yeah.
I'm like, is the food that bad?
Or something slipped into her little drink?
Yeah, that's another, yeah. Well, I didn't think about that one. I thought, like, poison her food or something.
Maybe. Sprinkle some powder on top.
But slipping in a drink makes more sense. Mm-hmm. I would... Oh my God. I'm like thinking about going out and being like, where's my purse? And then finding it on your center console of your car. How fucking like bold of the guy to do that. Mm-hmm. Because myself
just gotten there and it was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't, if I saw my purse on the center console of my car, knowing that I brought it inside, I'd be like, that's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. Somebody come search my car. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be like, and like go back inside. Not to make fun of them.
Well, no. Okay, so when I was a freshman in college, my high school boyfriend was 1 grade younger than me. So he was a senior when I was a freshman in college. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't entirely want to go to your dances, but if you want me to go, you need to like... You gotta ask me to all of them, even Cotton Ball. Like, you are asking me, sir. So I was leaving my night class. It was like a 3-hour-long psychology class. I'm walking to my car that's parked off in a neighborhood because I didn't want to pay for campus parking. And I get there, and I unlock it, and I just see, like, shadows in the back of my car. Mm-mm. And I'm petrified. So, like, hit the thing so the light comes on. It's a bunch of balloons. And then I get to the side of my car and he had written, "Will you go to prom with me?" on there. Which he wasn't even there for, I will say. And also, I couldn't drive my car because the amount of balloons he put in there. So late at night in a neighborhood, I had to pop one by one these balloons until there was so few in my car that I could drive. I was like, someone's going to call the cops on me.
Somebody's like, they're outside shooting guns all night.
There's so many shots. There's so many dead.
Then they have a rifle. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
You're somebody's nightmare. You're somebody's let's not meet.
I'm somebody's last. Whoever was shooting in my neighborhood, let's not meet.
Jerking around in the back of
Me
a car.
just like crying, popping balloons.
They just hear crying and pops. I would be freaked out that he even got in your car in the first place.
Yeah, so he got my spare keys from my mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, your mom helped. Okay, that's okay. Yeah. But I guess I don't know.
We don't like
cute.
that boyfriend
Whatever.
anyway. He's a fucking weirdo. We hate him.
Yeah.
Gross.
Ew.
I want to know if this person, what their wedding gift was. Because how bad would it be if, like, he tried to get him a nice knife set?
Oh my god.
And now they're like, he's such a freak.
He gets him, like, a really good cleaning kit.
These are some of my favorite cleaners.
I really like these knives. I really like these cleaners. I don't know if you guys are big, like, rope workers, but I really like this brand of rope.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
These chemicals
Something
are
to
really
spice it
good
up.
to, like, break down membranes. You need to. We do have an update.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, okay. Update. The last couple days I've been kind of crazy, so I haven't had the chance to look, but thank you all for your advice. I wish I'd known about it earlier. Unfortunately, my address was on my ID, and as I learned now, Anthony took photos of it. Anthony and the groom aren't exactly friends, but they knew each other well enough for him to be invited, because he liked his knife trick. After the whole fiasco, the groom tried to text Anthony about it, but got no response. Anthony showed up at my job and lurked around the parking lot before he ran off when he saw security. He left me a note on my windshield saying, "I'm watching." Security at my job had been notified about him, so hopefully I'm safe there. I was told by other people that went to the wedding that he was introducing himself as my boyfriend and that he was planning on proposing. I'm currently trying to file a restraining order against him and feel horrified. He lives in my city and knows where I live, so I'm staying at my aunt's house as I speak. If anything happens, I will update.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's actually, like, really fucking scary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm, like, immediately going and looking to see if they...
I've gone to, like, weddings, and I've been like, oh, like, I've gone, like, single to weddings. These guys are probably vetted by the groom, so they would be safe to date. As it turns out, not always. I think, like, weddings is one of the most common places for people to meet.
Yeah. Weddings are supposed to be a place of love and happiness, and it's supposed to be a big party. And people do. There's so many meet cutes at weddings.
Yeah.
Like, I would love if people got together at my wedding. That would make my heart so happy because I'm like, yeah.
Because at their wedding, they'll be like, together. Shout out to the OG bride and groom who got us here. And everyone would be like, yay.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I brought them together. Let's go.
Yep.
But I can't even, like, wrap my brain around the story. It feels so wrong. Everything about this, it's almost so bad that it feels made up.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing. How did he figure out where she was working? Did OP tell?
I wonder if you have LinkedIn, someone can figure it out.
That's true.
You have her full name. You have her address.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
He might have taken pictures of everything that was, like, in her purse and figured it out.
She has the badge.
I'm really glad that he didn't have a way to, like, copy her keys.
Yeah.
Because that would have been... That's the bad
That's
thing.
terrifying. Make sure you put sticks in your windows and
Yeah.
sliding doors.
Yep. No,
Maybe get a ring camera.
I'm
Not this kind of ring.
I'm so glad that OP like checked her back seats before leaving the wedding, because so much probably could have happened. I also want to know what his goal is. Is he trying to woo her, or
Yeah. He's like, this is how I'm going to get this lady. First, I'll tell everyone that we're dating, and then I will... Did he watch you and was like, I could do that?
yeah, bitches really love this shit.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
me,
and some
fine
people
bitches.
commenting on the internet do really like it. Like, we gotta find a little bit of a line.
Yeah, and maybe that's just his thing, and maybe there's a girl out there who wants that
Consensually.
with a conversation before it, but don't ever fucking jump in a woman's car, which is absolutely not what's happening. This guy is malicious as fuck.
Yeah.
But
Ew.
yeah, I wish we had more updates, because I feel kind of like left in the
Yeah.
dust here.
Yeah, they say they live in a big city, so he could live anywhere from
Yeah.
5 minutes away to 45 minutes away. They have no idea where he's at. I
OP
would
doesn't- or-
stalk back.
Yeah, right? Get everything that you know about Anthony from the groom. Phone number, full name, date of birth, where they met. Was it
Yeah.
at their job? Did they meet at a bar? Did he tell you where he worked? Did he tell you where he lived? Tell me everything. Counterstalk.
Full citizen
Counter.
detective, counter stalk for the good of humanity. And if he's like, I'm watching you, and you're like, bitch, I'm watching you.
I just watched you write that fucking note, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's about that?
How's about
I
that?
can't even fucking talk.
Fuck
These stories
you.
got me so riled up.
Ew.
I'm juiced, bro. I'm sorry.
Like Jamba. Fuck. Fucking razzmatazz over here.
Oh my god.
Okay.
If only this.
Oh.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if only this guy got into Entitled Mom's car. Am I right?
You so right.
Am I right? If only Entitled Mom got the haunted wedding dress. Am I right?
You so right.
Am I right? What was the second story that we read?
If
I
only
read it.
the Entitled's mom, best friend, took
Got
her
pregnant.
husband and got pregnant and then had a kid that wasn't a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? How engaging were those stories? Almost as engaged as you and Baby Boy Q.
You want to know how you can get engaged? Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. Want to know how you can engage? Listen to us on Spotify, Apple. I know she's gonna leave that in there.
I am, because it's so funny. I'm also leaving this in there too.
Amazon. You can also follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. I have to count them out and make sure I hit them all. All at _the pod. And if you'd like to share your own stories with us, feel free to email us at whatwasthat.thepod@gmail.com.
Yep. Do that.
You know, now that I'm thinking more about the haunted wedding dress, wait.
What was that?